Hello, what's up? It's Kathy, and I'm back with a process video, and this one is for International Scrapbooking Day, and this is a video hop that I'm participating in with a ton of other awesome, talented scrappers, and the description below will have a link to all the other videos in the series, so make sure you check it out. It's going to be pretty cool, and I'm excited because I don't... this is kind of one of those times where I've just started being able to participate in like International Scrapbooking Day stuff. So this is kind of cool for me. And I'm using a cut file from Amanda Kirby, who owns a little awesome Etsy shop called Make Paper Art. And I will put the link in the description below as well for her Etsy shop. And I am using a sunburst file from her shop, and I really like it because the openings were really big, and I knew when I saw it what I was going to do with it, and I kind of messed it up, and that was my fault. It's not actually the cut file's fault. I moved it too far over to the side when I had it in my Silhouette software, so it didn't leave an outer edge around the paper. It cut right to the edge, which was actually fine. Works out perfectly fine for what I'm doing, so I'm actually really happy with it. But yeah, that was me forgetting how to work my own Silhouette software, which is kind of sad, I guess. But because the openings were so large, I knew I could fit things underneath it and make a really cool sun kind of effect, as opposed to just backing it with paper. And I don't think I use any actual paper to back this file at all. I use wood veneers, and I use my head's like making the making the focus go in and out. I use wood veneers, brads, stickers, washi tape, acetate, thickers, and yeah, just more stickers, I think, and like chipboard and stuff, and make kind of little collages inside each one. So I'm just kind of gluing down. It only took me a few seconds to kind of figure out where I was putting the wood veneers. I just grabbed a whole bunch of random ones, and ones that I thought would go well with my theme, which is just pretty much kind of summer was my idea. And it all kind of started because I have a ton of these, I think it's Sunny Day from Simple Stories. I think it was like last year's, one of their summer collections. And it was like just super cute. And I still have so many of the brads. I cut off some of the prongs underneath just because I didn't want to be bothered poking holes through my paper. Now, the better thing to do if you're going to cut off the prongs is to use like a foam two-sided tape or glue dots or something like that. I'm using glue, like quick dry adhesive, and it does eventually dry, but you have to make sure that it's touching the paper and the metal, because most of them have the inside is not like flush with the metal rim, so you have to add a little bit of extra. Anyway, I had to restart my voiceover because my microphone fell over and I couldn't stop laughing, and I'm still laughing. Anyway, so for some of them I did poke holes, and for some of them I just glued it, and I just cut it with scissors, which is not the best idea, guys. Just if you have like a little wire snipping tool or something like that, that would be better for cutting those. Anyway, I grabbed a whole bunch of washi tape as well. So you can see two of my collage kind of things there. And I drew the lines in white on the white paper, so I wouldn't have to go erasing pencil marks, but also I could still see where I was putting stuff. Grabbed a whole bunch of washi tape that I thought would go extremely well with this idea. So I'm also, as well as filling these gaps in the cut file, I'm also going with like dimensional, not dimensional, dimensional, not dimensional. So it goes brads and then washi tape, and then I'm going to put something dimensional, which is thickers, and then I'm going to put flat stickers next to that. And on the other side of the brads, I'm going to put flat word phrase stickers. and then something dimensional and then something not. And it's just, I just didn't want it to be too flat on one side and too dimensional on the other. And I really love the combination of those washi tapes. They're all from different companies. Some of them are from that same Simple Stories line, and then some of them are ones that I bought from Michaels. Some of them are ones that I got from newer collections, like Crate Paper collections, and some are just like from paper issues and stuff like that, and One Canoe too, and different things like that. So yeah, it's from all different brands, but because they're all kind of the same color scheme, they match really well. I have these glittery yellow thickers, and I don't often use them. They're just, I don't know, they're just not really ones that I tend to use a lot, and I thought that they would be perfect for this because I wanted a bit more yellow going through. So I'm not doing multicolored thickers with this either. I'm just gonna go with just this one type, and I'm not trying to spell anything out. I'm just trying to fit them in and make them look kind of cool. So this is my whole idea with this page, and it makes the page like, the picture, I should say, is so secondary for this page. The whole idea was just the art of the page, which sometimes happens. You know, we really want to make something look really cool, and sometimes the picture does end up being secondary, but I love the the sunburst that ended up coming out of this idea. I think it just turned out really cool, and I'm really happy with it. So I'm making sure they're all stuck down because those are chipboard thickers, and as we all know, they don't like to stick down very well. Anywho, I think I was on a path of talking, and then when my microphone fell over, I forgot what I was talking about. So I'm just going to have to kind of pick it up where I left off without really remembering. So as you can see, the wood veneers, there's the cut file, and I cut it from pattern paper because, oh my gosh, heaven forbid, I just cut it out of white paper. But the pattern is very, very subtle. It's from a newer Pinkfish Studio paper. I think it's the BU collection, because if I remember the other side of the paper, it had all these cute little squares that had like birds and stuff in it, and they were blue, and I'm pretty certain that's from that collection. So that's the paper I used, and it had little dashes all over it, and it went in different colors. So it kind of started like pink and red, and it went down from there, and that's really annoying. I forgot everything was, I always do this. I forget that stuff is like turned on when I'm filming, and then even though I turn it off, it still beeps, and it's really, really frustrating. And I do apologize for that. I know I have to apologize for that kind of stuff a lot. I'm very forgetful. When it comes time to filming the voiceover, I'm just like, yes, let's get it done. Especially if there's like nobody home or something like that, and I can do it in privacy and without distraction. And I often forget to turn things off and get things set up the way they should. So those hearts are actually from Pretty Little Studio. So yeah, I'm just going through all my stuff. I grabbed these old chipboard pieces that are just kind of left over, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, I can totally use some of these up, and that's even more stuff used up, which is great. So I'm really happy with that. I do have to stick some of those down with glue as well because they're old. They don't have as much stickiness to them as they used to, and I did kind of struggle with what the last little peekaboo spot was going to be. I couldn't think what it should be, and I ended up thinking at first I was just going to put paper, and I don't really like just one piece of paper in it, so I ended up finding an acetate that I think it was from Dear Lizzie Fine and Dandy, which is kind of an older party collection, and it's really cute, and it's got like the exact color that I'm looking for. So there is a bit of a change with some of the lighting, and that's just because I left the wood veneers to dry for like a day before I went to the next part of it. And they don't need to dry for a day. It's just it had turned nighttime, and it's not the best to film at night, so I didn't bother. I just left it for the next day. I'm going to put some foam around the flat sections, like where the washi tape is and the acetate and the word stickers, and that's just so that the paper kind of stays up and continues to have like a shadow effect over the little windows. And that, it does take a little bit to think that all through, because you have to make sure that you're not seeing the foam and all that stuff. It ends up working out pretty well. Some of it and then I use some glue to glue some of it down as well as tape runner for the foam, the actual foam, because that doesn't like to stick with regular glue. And I used glue to stick it to the wood veneers as well. So then you have to cut all the edges off, because I don't want anything overhanging. So this is kind of where it gets a little tricky, because in some cases, maybe I should have snipped this all off before I continued on with all the other little windows. And in the end, yes, I totally should have done that. You don't see me do it. It does take a while. I have to cut down. I knew I wanted a border, so I did cut some of it down. And do you see how I have an injury now? Yeah, I totally have an injury now. Why? Because I'm not a smart person. And I was cutting the wood veneers, and I will say this, go slow. Nice and slow. Also, don't snip your finger, which is what I did. And some of that comes with being left-handed, I find, is it gets a little bit more awkward the way that I hold things when I'm trying to tape them and cut them and glue them and all that. Anyway, yeah. I did it, and I was like, oh no, and I just started freaking out. My husband was like, what happened? I cut my finger. And we didn't have any bandages, so that's a makeshift bandage till he went out and bought some, because he had to make a grocery run anyway. Okay, so the background paper that I chose was from Happy Days, an old Pink Fresh Studio collection, and I just thought it matched so perfectly with this. It brought so much color. I was trying like a regular just yellow background and stuff like that, and I really did not like it. But I loved this one, and you saw me cut out the middle, and originally I wasn't going to cut out the middle, and then I realized I really like this paper, and even if I only have a little bit of it left, I want to keep a little bit of it for another layout, because of course you're only seeing this part of it. So I did do that. I'm backing my photos with some older, I think one is a Pebbles paper, and the multicolored floral is the same Simple Stories collection that I've used for some of the parts of this layout, including the brads and the phrase stickers. So I really liked that it was, even the backing, like the paper backing, was just kind of light. It wasn't really detracting. It's just a really cute picture of my son and daughter eating watermelon out on the little picnic table that we have for them in the summer. And it's just kind of like one of those summer moments that I just thought was a perfect thing to capture, especially with a layout like this that's just so kind of crazy and busy. And because the photo is, there's so much green going on, it really doesn't get too muddled in with all the elements. Like if it had been a white background or a very light background in that photo, I think it would not have worked as well. So I kind of wanted to put this wood veneer summer, because I wanted to use the phrase summer dream, and I wanted to use that gold dream, and that's from Maggie Holmes Carousel. It's kind of like a epoxy kind of puffy sticker idea, and I just really wanted it to kind of go over the photo, and not sure what I'm going to do with it. And I had these little wood veneer star asterisks type things, and they're from Pink Fresh Studio as well. And I had these leftover puffy stickers, and they're from an old Hip Kit Club set from way back in the day. And I was trying to add in some elements of black, just little pops of it in the layout. I do end up doing that. It just really takes me a long time to decide where I want to do it, because I don't want it to be really, really obvious. And that's kind of the thing, like there's no real black or dark colors going on in this. So when you do add something like that, it can be really distracting. And that's my daughter asking me to do something, but she's not supposed to be on the Xbox because she's grounded. And she thinks if she asks nicely enough that mommy will do it for her. But originally I was going to use black letters for the summer, and then I did find a way to put that wood veneer summer in. And I really like how it turned out because it's not too distracting. So I finished it off with a few puffy stickers and then some yellow Heidi Swapp color shine. I think it's butter. And then that is it. That's the whole layout. So thank you so much for joining me for this video hop, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.